Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Sue DeCaro, and I'm here with my good friend and colleague, Erin Taylor. And you are tuning into a live interview, live recorded interview with an incredible businessman, Ed Stahlin. Ed is a graduate of the University of Michigan, and he's co-founder of Direct Incorporation. He and his son, who is an attorney, started this business together. The company was founded in 2003. They are a nationwide business offering startup services to entrepreneurs. They have over 25 employees and have created over 50,000 corporations and LLCs in all 50 states and Puerto Rico. Welcome, Ed. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you. Good to be here, Sue.
So, Ed, why did you create this business? If you could give us just a little brief overview.
Well, it was an idea that my son had. My previous experience had been running automotive manufacturing businesses that supplied the big three. And he came home from law school in between his second and third year and says, "Dad, I've got a great business idea." And after he explained it, I started to bring up all these reasons why it was a horrible idea and it would never work. And he had already thought through those objections and had an answer for every single one of them. It turns out he wasn't right on all of them, but it convinced me enough that this was a viable business idea. So I agreed to give him 90 days. That was 13 years ago. Turns out he was right, I was right.
It's fabulous. What a beautiful story.
So what kind of what kind of entrepreneurs come your way, Ed? Do you see more like brick and mortar entrepreneurs or online service product? Who's coming to see you?
Well, we always talk about this here. We get the entire bell curve. We get mom and pop startups, the knitting shops, for instance, retail coffee shops, clothing stores, online clothing stores, real estate people who are buying rental properties, all the way up to, we've had several clients actually succeed and go public with their companies. Sometimes they're subsidiaries of large international corporations. Most of the time, it's one or two people who've got a unique business idea, they found a niche, and they're ready to go.
Wow, that's great. It's nice that you can serve a wide population of different types of businesses. And as you've been doing that, what have you found has evolved in your own business in terms of serving this incredibly broad-based public? How has Direct Incorporation evolved?
Well, other business needs have surfaced that we did not envision originally, but clients started asking for help with tax filings, help with websites, help with federal trademark registrations. And so as the years have gone by, we've added those services and others, and it's simply through the demand process, the clients asking for it. It's nothing that we came up with ourselves.
It's wonderful when you can serve your population, your community, whoever you're doing business with, in a way that really speaks to them, listening to their needs and making sure that you have those services to fill those needs. We understand that well as also.
Yes. I wanted to clarify something with you, Ed. I know that you serve businesses in the US, but you had mentioned in a previous conversation that we had with you something about Canada. So are you structured to support entrepreneurs in Canada as well?
No, we aren't. What you remembered about Canada is I earlier had a corporation in Canada. Okay. So I had that experience. We're strictly the 50 states and sometimes Puerto Rico.
Okay. So if a person listening to this interview has this amazing business idea and this burning passion and they want to take that leap and go for it, what do you think is the best first step for them in terms of moving forward with their dream?
It's a great question, Erin. what we found is people are looking for a linear solution. Do this first, do this second, do this third, and so on. And it doesn't necessarily work that way. You know, it's which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Well, they both have to happen at the same time. And I think that's kind of the hard thing about wrapping your head around and getting a business going. Eventually you reach the point where you need to legalize it. You need to get that legal entity formed so you can get the name locked in, the rights to the name, so that you can get your personal liability protection in place. And that's what forming a corporation or an LLC is about. So sometimes people are coming to us and it's the very first step in the process for them. Other times people are coming to them and it's kind of the last step of the startup. So every situation, everyone's experience is unique in that regard.
Interesting.
So I guess your point is there are a lot of steps and a lot of things that have to be done at the beginning. And so the sooner, I guess, someone comes to you to talk about incorporating or talking about setting up an LLC or an S Corp, the easier it is for you to maneuver them, you know, or help them maneuver through the steps that it takes to really be a full-fledged, you know, working and in operation, you know, under the law in the United States.
And there's a benefit to it, which I experienced in one of my automotive supply businesses that I set up. I formed the corporation almost a year ahead of time, and I knew it would be about a year. And the benefit to me of doing that is then I became the president of that corporation. So when I was calling potential vendors and potential customers, it just so much more street credibility doing it that way, even though it was an empty shell at that point, didn't even have a bank account open. But it just you know, greased the system so that it was easier to do.
That's a great point. Wow. I love that. So where can people find you, Ed? Where can people contact you and learn about you and ask you all the questions that might be going on in their mind as they think about, you know, all their dreams and ideas for starting a business?
Yep. Well, we have a website built for entrepreneurs called directincorporation.com. And you can reach me by phone. I'd be happy to take phone calls and answer any questions, no obligations at all. And the direct line to my desk is area 734-794-9265. I'm usually in the office Monday through Friday, 10 to 6 Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to send me an email, that's great too. My email address is ed@directincorp.com. Please don't be shy.
We will put your contact information in the show notes for our interview with you. And before we hang up, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge you and thank you for all of your important work in the world. Stu and I both got your assistance in creating our parent coaching businesses, as well as building connected communities. So we have a long-term relationship with you and your company, and you've helped us so much and held our hand through the creation of these businesses and helped us with the website setup, with your template for our coaching businesses. And so we both have benefited greatly from your help and your direct hand holding in many cases, helping us through the nitty-gritty details of what we needed to do. So thank you very much for all of that support and service to us.
Well, you're very welcome. It's a pleasure working with the two of you.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you very much for your time, and we will be chatting with you shortly.
Okay.